Is this now where our school system is going? Let's get into this.
Today, civil rights attorney and longtime Floridian Ben Crump gave a stern warning to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, saying he will sue his administration if it continues to block an advanced placement course on African American studies from being taught in the state's high schools. During the announcement, Crump was joined by the 3 high school students who would be the lead plaintiffs in the lawsuit. In his latest war against knowledge, DeSantis has rejected the AP's African American Studies program, saying the course, quote, significantly lacks educational value. But as one of the students observed, plenty of other AP courses remain.
This is Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. There has been in our political discord coming out of the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, who is the governor of Florida, has vetoed history classes, Black history, to be taught to students in the AP courses. When I first heard about this, of course, I heard from certain media sources, and it came out as
certainly there are other advanced placement histories such as AP European History, AP US History, and AP World History, all predominantly generated towards white people. By lacking an AP dedicated to the ones this country was built off the backs of, is further oppressing a group that has done more for this country than the country has done for them.
Ron DeSantis, he doesn't want Black history taught on AP levels and denying the existence of Black people and the history and the contributions of Black people. And because I don't personally live in the state of Florida, I didn't really take a deep dive and really understanding the depthness of it. But I began to do the research, and upon the research, I realized Ron DeSantis has maybe helped the Black community.
In the state of Florida, our education standards not only don't prevent, but they require teaching Black history, all the important things. That's part of our core curriculum. This was a separate course on top of that for advanced placement credit. And the issue is we have guidelines and standards in Florida. We want education, not indoctrination. If you fall on the side of indoctrination, we're going to decline. If it's education, then we will do this course. So when I heard it didn't meet the standards, I figured, yeah, they may be doing serious. It's way more than that. This course on Black history, what's one of the lessons about? Queer theory. Now, who would say that an important part of Black history is queer theory? That is somebody pushing an agenda on our kids. And so when you look to see they have stuff about intersectionality, abolishing prisons, that's a political agenda. And so that's the wrong side of the line for Florida standards. We believe in teaching kids facts and how to think, but we don't believe they should have an agenda imposed on them. When you try to use Black history to shoehorn in queer theory, you are clearly trying to use that for political purposes.
Let's now take a moment and let us summarize everything that we have heard thus far. The Florida Education Department has blocked a proposal of advanced placement courses focused on African American studies, calling it a form of political indoctrination and a violation of state law. The College Board has been developing the class for over a decade and plans to make it available to all schools in the 24-25 school year. Florida's Education Commissioner MANNY DIAZ Jr. has taken issue with the curriculum, calling it woke indoctrination as education, and pointed out that topics of concern such as intersectionality, activism, Black queer studies, movements for Black lives, and the reparations movement. Florida is one of many states that are looking to restrict how teachers can talk about topics like race, sexual orientation, and gender identity. Critics argue that the course ban is detrimental not only to Black Floridians, but to all children seeking a comprehensive education. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe at this moment in time that we should be teaching those 3 things? Should we be putting this as part of Black history, and is this your understanding of Black history? Is this your knowledge of Black history? This wasn't my knowledge of Black history. And being indoctrinated into queer theory has nothing to do, in my opinion, to do with Black history. Black history is about the contributions that African Americans made to this country. And it was also about, in spite of what was going on in this country, exactly what we did to build this country, sustain this country, produce within the society as a whole, how we created our own culture, our own church, our own religion within this country just to be successful. The whole idea of being educated and not indoctrinated is the fact that education is supposed to broaden our intelligence and give us a means and a ways of rising up above many different things. It allows us the ability to argue, to critique, to mitigate against various ideas and various structures. However, as we have noted in our system, you are no longer permitted to even speak against or even debate or even have an intellectual conversation with members of what I would define here as the alphabet community. The moment that you say anything against them, or if you don't believe what they say, they automatically put words on you like a phobia, and then they will try to take your job, your livelihood, and everything else. We have seen this system, and these groups have vehemently went after lately the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. They have went after Beyonce, and they continue to go after actors, musicians, athletes, and of course us here on YouTube and social media as a whole. So if they are willing to do this for grown adults who have the intellectual ability to communicate and to talk and to be able to be prosperous members of society, what would they do to these Black children? If one of these Black children who now has academically succeeded to be in an AP course, if one of these Black kids decide that they are against CRT or that they don't believe in queer theory, will these kids be able to receive the proper grades that they're going to get, or will they be given Fs and not able to advance themselves into college? Why? Because they are no longer willing to follow the theories that they are trying to indoctrinate these young children in. We already have seen many political backlash of just saying you may not believe in trans, and if you don't believe in the trans community, what do you call transphobic? What are they going to do to these children when they're learning about queer theory, and argumentatively someone stands up and say, I'm a staunch Christian and I don't believe in transgenderism, or I don't believe in this queer theory? Is that student now going to be demolished? Is that student no longer going to be able to succeed because we already have seen such a social and political backlash? I wonder what you think. What do you believe? Leave me a comment below and let me know how you feel about what Ron DeSantis did, and do you believe that we should be teaching queer theory, CRT, and the abolishment of prison as a higher education or as a AP course? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit that like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you want more news stories and just deeper intellectual conversations such as this. This is Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Peace.